Hello and welcome back. Glad y'all stopped by. Today we are going to talk about some of my favorite polychilous orchids, summer bloomer species, whatever you want to call them. These are some of my faves. I'm also going to have to admit that I was wrong on one of these, so stay tuned. And let's talk about Shellyana first. This is the very first species orchid that I received. It is the Shellyana, purchased from Yoshi at Orchids by the Lake back in July of 2021. Initially, when this beaut came to me, she was on a mount with a partner. There were two of them. They were hanging out together. I was not able to keep up with the watering needs, so I said, oh, let me put it in a pot. Her sister is no longer residing in our home. She has decided to go live with the fairies, so that's where she is right now. And then this one I have struggled with. I mean, the leaves, if you look, are beautiful. Like, they're shiny, they're hydrated. She has roots in the pot. There's not a lot of them, not gonna lie, for having her almost 3 years. There's not a lot of roots in there. And as you can see, there's not a lot of foliage. She is working on a new root here, which I'm hoping will go down into the media instead of aerial. This one here, it will activate, grow, but it doesn't do much. I struggle with this one. I am having a hard time keeping more than 2 to 3 leaves on this particular Shellyana. I have tried adding more calcium because I know Nina over at Ninja's Orchids, she was struggling with her Shellyana. She was giving more calcium and she ended up getting more than 2 to 3 leaves. This, however, is not working for Trish in her environment. I do grow mine in inorganic media and Nina grows in primarily leca. So, any suggestions from you lovelies out there, I would appreciate if you could let me know what can I do to encourage more leaf growth and root growth, because they kind of go hand in hand. I have watered her more, like kept her a little more on the damp side, not letting her dry out. I've put her in lower light, brighter light, medium light. I've tried everything over the last 3 years. So if you have any ideas for those of you out there who grow this beauty into a gorgeous young lady, let me know. And then we have this Shellyana that I purchased in May of 23, so about a year ago, from Norman's Orchids, and it is doing much better. Of course, it came as a larger plant. It has grown 1, 2, and then this is the newest leaf it's working on. It has active roots growing with, well, root tips, so all the roots are active. And she hasn't bloomed yet. I know she is blooming size because when I got it, you could tell where they had clipped the spike off of her. Now this one is a Shellyana Sakura King. It has been awarded. I'll just show you real quick. So this is an awarded plant. And Shellyana are species, so they are found in the wild. And the difference in the patterning too. I love this, look. So this one has more of like stripe patterning, and then this one is more splotched. And I do know that one of these is like the Philippine Shellyana, and then the other one comes from another part of the country, or another part of the country, another part of the world. And you would think I would remember that, but at the moment I don't. But they are 2 different species, from what I can tell, of the Shellyana. And from the Jiha's Pink Girl, which is a cross of the Shellyana and I believe it's Zuma's Pixie. Mine doesn't smell. My Jiho's girl doesn't smell. Well, she does. She's just not a strong smeller. I have heard and seen people who say that theirs is very intense. Mine has not been that intense. You can barely see any of the splotching, but under really bright light, and when she's a little healthier, you can see just a little bit of mottling in these leaves. But this lady here, oh my goodness, she's got the cutest little pinky blooms, resembling the Shellyana blooms. And then we have some hybrids, so I do need to move. Actually, you know what? We'll put this Shellyana where she goes, which is right here on the plant stand, right here. And then this one goes behind me right here, so we'll just get them off the table. And again, I'm still sitting in my 400-year-old chair that squeaks, but you know, I'm a 300-year-old lady, so what do you do? These two, you can actually find in your local grocery store, hardware store, big box store, if you keep a lookout for them. This is the Phalaenopsis Cyntion, and then this one is the Phalaenopsis Dusty Bell. Both of these, I believe the cultivar, or the people who sell it, it's called Parfum, P-A-R-F-U-M. And these are two of the types that they've grown and hybridized to get a beautiful scent. So let's just take a closer look. We'll look at this one in a minute. But you can tell that it does have Shellyana in it. I could not... And to be honest, guys, I didn't really research these. I just know that there's Shellyana in these because of the modeling on the leaves. I don't know what else they may be crossed with. Now, this I got, I think I got both of them. Yeah, I got both of them in October of 2023. And they both were repotted into their respective pots in December of 2023. So let's just say 5 months ago. Look at the root of growth in 5 months. My goodness. Yes, they just got watered yesterday. So I got this from King Soopers, Kroger's. It's my grocery store locally here. But since she has come into La Collection, she has grown this leaf, this leaf, this leaf. And this one has not rebloomed yet. This is the Cyntion. This was the first one that I got. Has not rebloomed yet. She has really pretty kind of peachy flowers. And the scent is very similar to this one here, where it kind of smells like fabric softener, like Downy or Snuggle, or any of those like liquid fabric softeners. Just love the smell. But this one sits on the bottom shelf underneath a grow light, and she's not on, the grow light is like kind of that far away from her, but I'm hoping that she does rebloom as well because they're gorgeous. The blooms are pretty and they smell good. And then we have the Dusty Bell. Again, look at the spotch or the modeling on those leaves. Isn't that just gorgeous? Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I love this. And this is kind of what you want to look for, even if it's not in bloom. Let me get you this other one. So if you're walking through your hardware store or your grocery store and you see a Phalaenopsis that maybe has a dead flower spike on it, or any kind of the modeling, it's going to be one of these Parfum orchids. And it's going to be scented. It's going to be scented, which is very rare in hybridized orchids, as far as that you can buy in the grocery store. A lot of our polychilus are scented, but you have to order them online or go to a specialty nursery to get. Whereas these guys are, I'm going to say readily available. They're not readily available, but they've been popping up more frequently. I've seen these two in my local grocery store several times in the last 5 months. I'm looking for other colors now, so be on the lookout. But this one as well, she does not quite have the root system coming through that the Cyntion has, but she does have roots. And again, guys, normally I don't do this, but look at this. There is no wiggle room in here, okay? And if you're ever going to do this and test your pot, do it, hold it from the bottom. Don't hold it from the top. Hold it from the bottom. This way, if it does fall out, you're not doing a lot of damage. Pretty confident, aren't I? But look at the blooms on this. It is, again, a very dusty rose color. And look at the purple in there. Can you see that? Kind of pinky purple in the lip and the throat. Look at that. Beautiful. And right now, she smells, again, it just reminds me of fabric softener that you use to freshen up your clothes. She smells good. This little area of my living room is smelling fantabulous right now. And then we are just going to, I need to move her out of the way because I don't want to knock anything over. You know what, let's just grab the big girl here. There we go. Now, this one, again, is a Bolina cross. So this is the Phalaenopsis Meww King Bolina. It is a cross between LD Bear King and LD Bolina Eagle. Here, so I got this one from Brookside Orchids in May of 22. So I've had her a little over 2 years, as it is May, I think it's the 27th of 2024. Recently repotted, and by recently I mean like a week ago, okay? And the 5-inch pot that she was in, I just took her, you know, out of the media, or out of the pot, and the media, the roots were so entwined with the media that all I did is how you do a regular houseplant is I just kind of loosened the media around it, opened up some of those roots, plopped her in the center, as close to the center back as I could to give her more room to grow. I don't know if, here we can see it on this side. She does have a little room to grow out of this pot now. So you can't really see all of the roots that she went in with, but she's got quite the extensive root system in here. All she's done for me in 2 years is grow leaves. Now this one here is the longest leaf that she's grown, but it's also the skinniest. As far as if you look at the back on this one, look how big that leaf is compared to the other one. Like it literally covers up my whole hand, especially the palm area. Same thing with this one. It's a little bit smaller, but this one got larger, and then this one, it did kind of fatten up, but she's pretty much hardened off. I think this is about what she's going to get. But then look at this new one coming out. It's coming out already with that nice round apple shape to it that it's getting from the Bolina, because that's how you can kind of tell your Bolinas, is they have those beautiful apple-shaped leaves. I know there's other orchids out there that have it too, but I love the shape of these leaves. What I would love even more, you guessed it, I want to see what she looks like. See her little beautiful bloom. That would be amazing. So she is currently sitting on top of my new grow shelf, not grow shelf, but it's not a grow shelf. It's just a regular shelf. And she's got lights on both sides of her, as well as some east-facing light coming in behind her. And that one obviously is grown in bark, all bark, no moss. So this is my Phalaenopsis Bolina Kula. Now this is a species from Borneo, according to the tag. And this one I've had since July of 2021, purchased from Brookside Orchids. Initially, she just kind of sat in here. She is in Lucca in a self-watering pot. And currently she is sitting in a mixture of fertilizer, MSG fertilizer, no sponsorship, just love that fertilizer, of about 250 parts per million. She finally had started putting in roots. So this one here, she struggled for a little bit. She took her time getting herself together, but she did grow both of these leaves in 2023. And I think if I really squint my eyeballs and look really deep into the crown, there might be a leaf coming out. I don't know, but I'm encouraging the growth because this is the season. She does sit on the shelf with two Barina grow lights, kind of right up, not above her, but you know, she sits in that area. So she's not doing much. She has grown those 2 leaves. She sat for about, I'm going to say almost 10 months before she even attempted to grow her first root. We don't have much to say about this one. Let's talk about these gorgeous ladies right here that are all 3 in bloom. Oh, I don't know. Nope, you can't see that one, but you can see. There we go. Look at that. Look at the family. Look at the girls. Look at them. We're going to talk about the wild type first. So this is the Bolina wild type. This one I got in August of 2022. Again, Brookside Orchids. So it's also supposed to be a species from Borneo, but I think it's the Bolina that's the species from Borneo, and this is just a type. I don't know that you can necessarily find the wild type in the wild. Maybe you can. Leave comments below. I don't know that much about species orchids. I should know, and I would love to do more as far as researching and looking into some of my other orchids and the species, where they come from, and be able to retain them, because I do like glance through and I look through, but I would love to spend more time doing the proper research and being able to give you guys better information. And it's not an excuse, but when you work a full-time job and then you have over 300 plus plants, that includes house plants, orchids, that kind of thing to take care of. Plus you have dogs, you have family, you know, all that good stuff. There's just not enough time in the day. One day, fingers crossed, I'm going to retire, be able to stay at home and stay with my girls and research on the girls that I would normally be at work. There it is. Anyway, look at the bloom. Let me take the light out. Look at that. I love the shape of this bloom. It's almost like a little guy. You know those what is it, those little cartoon characters, the little bubbly looking cartoon characters is what it kind of reminds me of. Oh my goodness, and the leaves. I love these leaves. So it's not the normal bubble Bolina that I'm talking about, but you can still see it's very wide and then it kind of points down. And then I have her in this self-watering setup as well, kind of a taller, more elongated pot to allow for those leaves to kind of have the space and room that it needs. She's got lots and lots of roots in here. She bloomed for me for the first time this year in 2024, actually, about, I think it was it in March time frame, guys? I remember this is only her second bloom. So the first one, she sat up a little bit more like this, but you know, I'm not mad about it. And then it looks like it is going to be working on another little bud there. And then this bloom should last a couple of months. The first one did. And then this one is another, now this is a Bolina. I got this from Orchid Classics in 2021. Yes, in September of 2021. So you can see it says Phalaenopsis Bolina. And it did nothing for about a year to 2 years, and then it started growing roots, and I put it into a self-watering setup, and then it grew this leaf right here, and then it grew this leaf right here, and again, most recently in 2024, it produced a beautiful bloom. Look at that. Look at that gorgeousness. That's just beautiful. And she smells much better than the first one. It's a little stronger. I don't necessarily have to put my nose all the way into her, but she smells so fantabulous with that lemony smell. Oh, I forgot to tell you the wild type. So this one, she does have kind of that lemony spring cleaning smell to it, but she has an undertone of something spicy as well. So she's not sweet. She has more of a spicy undertone to her. Oh, but she still smells, she smells great too. I'll have to pick up that leca when I get done so that Mr. Loki, who's right down here supervising, doesn't decide to play around with it. He won't eat it, but he'll play with it, and I'm afraid him playing with it, he'll end up swallowing it. So at the beginning of the video, I did say one of these orchids is going to make me say that I was wrong. And I would like to officially and publicly apologize to this young lady here, who was given as a replacement for an orchid that I ordered from Orchid Classics along with the Bolina. And what they sent me was another Bolina. I've already been over I've ranted before about how dumb that is, like replacing another orchid with the same orchid that you're going, anyway. Let's just keep going. See, it says gift on it, and it's a Phalaenopsis Bolina. And just like her sister here, she did nothing but grow leaves. But she actually grew more leaves than this one. And as you can see, the leaves at first didn't look right. And then it produced a bud. And we have us an actual Bolina. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this one because this is my stronger hand. And this one. And we're going to look at them side by side. Well, as best as we can anyway. Let's see if we do it this way. Look, we have two Bolinas, okay? So I would like to publicly apologize to this young lady for doubting that she was a Bolina, because for months and months, and even years, I said, I don't think this is a Bolina. It might be a Bolina cross, but I don't think it's a Bolina. It's not growing like a Bolina. It doesn't look like a Bolina, blah, 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 Bolina, right? Well, look at this new leaf coming out. Has more of the apple shape, as does this one here. So perhaps, just perhaps, this one just needed time. This one was growing up against the wall under a grow light. This one was growing underneath Barina lights. So I've since put this one on the same shelf as the other one. But now that they're both blooming and I know this is an actual Bolina, I don't think they should both be growing in the same spot. So I'm going to find another place for her so I can enjoy her in a different area of the living room. And then this way, I'll have that beautiful smell if it gets to be strong, because this one, her smell, it's there, but it's not super strong. So she's one that I really have to get in there and smell, and it is her first blooming. She does have another bud that she is working on, and I believe, oh my goodness, we have a second spike. I just noticed that, guys. Look, We have a second spike coming right here, and she is full of happy sap. Now, when they're full of happy sap, I do take a Q-tip with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and I will kind of gently take the bulk of it off because of our recent unwanted visitors who decide to use my living room as an Airbnb. I try not to leave anything that might encourage that, and plus, you know, I'm getting ready to start having my windows open, so I don't want any outside lovelies to come inside and say hello to my girls. I don't want them meeting. I don't want them meeting. They're not ready to meet strangers yet. I haven't prepared them for that. But guys, these that I just showed you are some of my favorite, and especially these guys here, because like I said, they're so readily available. If you see anything in your hardware store, big box store, grocery store, any of the stores you go to, if it does not have the bloom, but it has these leaves, grab it. It is a scented one. It doesn't matter which one. They all pretty much smell the same. Fabric softener. And we'll see you next time.